Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome back to my channel. Really good to have you with me. I hope you are all well. So today I'm going to have a play with an altered file folder. I know I've done quite a few altered file folders, but I wanted to try something a little different. So I have a craft brown altered file folder, and where did I get this one from? I got this from Tanya at Tatty Treasures. She sells these on her Etsy. So that's what I've got here. And I'm going to try and do something a little different. But I have no idea how it's going to work, or whether it even will work. So we'll give it a go. So I'm going to start off. I've got my craft file folder. If you haven't got a file folder, you can use card, you can use whatever. You can even use A4 card and do smaller versions of this. I'm also going to be using a scoreboard for this first section. Possibly some masking tape type stuff. Okay. What I'm thinking is of doing a skinny, like a bit of a skinny file folder. So instead of using it this way, I've turned it on its side and I've folded it over. I haven't measured that because I don't know. I have no idea what measurement it is, other than it's just what I fancied, I suppose. So that is 5 inches. This piece here is 5 inches high. Okay, so I'm going to then grab my scoreboard. Now the centre of this file folder at the moment, I'm going to burnish this down when I fold it. So the centre of the file folder at the moment is this point here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to want to score a 1/2 inch, or 1/8 of an inch, I think. Not going to be enough. That's there. No, I'm going to go. That's there. I'm going to go 1, 2 points either side, which will give me is that an 1/8 or a 1/4 of an inch? Like that. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same and go 2 points the other side. So I then have fold that down. So that's the one fold. Hang on a second. No, that's the centre. So the one fold is going to be here. Like that. And the other fold is going to be here. Doesn't help, I got lots of different folds in this already. Not folds as such, but crease lines, so it's a tad confusing. But what in essence we've done is we've created a bit of a spine there. So that spine is 1/2 1/2 inch. So I'm going to now grab a piece of card and I'm going to cut 1/2 inch if I can. I don't even know how I'm going to measure this now. Don't need a full 1/2 inch. I just need something that will strengthen that piece there. And that's perfect. So I'm gonna measure this like so. Pen. Put a little piece of mark there and cut that. And I will then have just a little piece of card that I can glue on there to strengthen that spine a little bit. Hasn't got to be loads, just enough so that it gives us a tiny bit of extra strength. So I'm going to quickly glue that on. And I'm going to glue it inside this pocket fold piece, if you like, because I haven't decided yet how I'm going to work those. So I'm going to pop that there. That'll go there like that. Just gives us that tiny bit of extra strength. And I'm also going to use some of our brown tape just to make sure that sticks. Okay, I'll go over there. And then that will fold back over there as we had it. So we then have more of a structured spine piece. Okay. Then we need to work out how much space we have either side of that spine. So this is 22 centimeters. So half of that is going to be 11. That's our midpoint there. And I'm going to measure this as well. Almost 22, so pretty much our midpoint is there again. Now I'm going to do exactly the same as I did for this middle section on these end sections. The only... Yeah, I am. I'm going to score them, but I am going to score. I don't know whether that's going to be too. No, it won't. It won't. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to score 1, 2, which is 1/4 inch either side. Oops, daisy. 1/4 inch either side of that centre mark. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same here. Quarter inch either side. There. Okay, now I should be able to put my scoreboard away, or at least to the side, while we fold these pieces. And I'm going to fold them actually with this fully open, just because I think it will give us a better fold. So there's one there. And one there. So it's a little bit tricky, but that's that. And I'm going to do exactly the same over here. There's our one fold there. And then our second fold here. File folders are notorious for being not even, so don't get yourself in a pickle or a tiz if it doesn't work. Now I'm going to have to cut this piece off, which I didn't really want to do, but unfortunately needs must. Keep that just in case I get a chance to use it. So what we end up with here, what we should end up with here, is this. So it's like a really thin, tall folio piece. Now we're not going to know if it's definitely going to work. That's reassuring, isn't it? Until we glue these bits together and do what we need to do. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be covering the inside of this. Now I've got a pad here that might work. This is the Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I've got loads of green pieces on the back of this, and I think green might look quite cool. It's very dark green, very, very dark green, but we do like a bit of green. We might add a bit of orange, but we'll see. So what I'm going to be looking to do is I want to mix and match these up a little bit. So I'm going to measure how far I need for my pocket space, which is here, and then the rest should fit. Should fit in theory. Now I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to cut them all at the same time. I'm going to try and cut them all at the same time. There we go. So we've got our top pieces and we've got our bottom pieces. Right. I am going to, before I attach these, I need to decide how I want my pockets. Now, if I leave my pockets like that, we're not going to have an awful lot of room in there. But if I give them a slight gusset, we might get away with a bit more space. So let's do that, I think. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to turn this over so that I've got the pocket area here. And I'm literally going to cut down the middle of that pocket right the way up to the fold line. I am going to do the same here. And I'm going to do the same here. So I ended up with this. Okay. What I did is I want to use these as pockets. So because if we attach them as they are, they're going to be pretty flat pockets and you're not going to get a lot in there. I decided to put a slight gusset in them. So I cut exactly down the centre here, exactly down the centre here, and exactly down the centre here. That gave me 4 flippy pieces. Now, where the score lines were, that gave me a natural fold in the card. These score lines were there after we created. Sorry, just checking. So I folded those score lines in, like so. There's only one on this one here. There's 2 on this one here. And there's only 1 on this one here. Because we were using the existing spines. I so hope you are still with me. Okay, so just fold them under like that. So we had our file folder, we opened it this way, we folded it up this way, we created a 1/2 inch spine in the middle here, and then this piece here, we created another 1/2 inch spine, this piece here, we created another 1/2 inch spine, and on the fold pieces, we cut exactly down the middle of each of those spines, okay? And we ended up pretty much with this. What I then did is I just took a tiny bit off the top and bottom creases here. You can see I've cut a little bit there, just so that when I fold these in, it gives me a much tidier fold. Okay? I will need to create a tiny gusset for either side of this one here, just because I want, excuse me, just because I want to have them all with a slight gusset, just so I can fit a little bit more in them. But I'm going to do that later. The next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to create panels, cards, to cover what we have. So I pretty much measured, and I may have to trim these down a bit, but I measured, yeah, I am going to have to trim these down a bit. I measured these card pieces so that they were the right height to fit these pieces here. And I'm just going to have to take a tiny bit off because they are just that tiny, tiny bit too long. Okay. So I had 4 pieces of card and these should now fit there, which they do. Okay. So let's just mark that there. There's our 4 pieces there. I am going to cut those again. I'm cutting them all together. And that gives me my 4 bottom panels. and these are spares. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same with the top. I want the top to go slightly past this point, so I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure that, let's check these are going to work, because I didn't double check these as being the same, but they should, yeah, they work there. Yep, you're still with me. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly the same with the top. I'm going to check the width that I've got to play with, which is, where's my spine? Sorry if you can see the top of my head, which is that there. So again, I'm going to cut so there are top pieces, and there are spares again. Hi, hello, good morning. I lost battery on my phone yesterday as I was filming. It went a bit squiffy a few times, so I'm not really sure where I'm at. So it is really early in the morning, and my phone is charged, and so I thought I would pick back up. Now, when I lost the phone yesterday, I was just about to do some stenciling. Now, I wanted to do stenciling here because I didn't want to worry about this, having to cover this deep kind of spine space here. So I thought if I put some stenciling on, it's going to look more attractive, I suppose, than trying to kind of just ink around everything. So I started, and I really liked the look, so I decided to use that all the way across. So I've done the front and I've done the back with stenciling. So now it's going to be putting the panels on. So I have my top pieces here cut, ready. I am going to ink around the edges of these just to get rid of the white, if you can see the white on the edge of those. So I'm going to get rid of that. The inking I used was Vintage Photo. I normally use walnut stone, but with the craft cards, sometimes that can be a bit dark. So the Vintage Photo actually worked out really, really well. So I was pleased with that. So yeah, it's like I said, it's morning here, really early morning, and I haven't even looked to see what I have captured yesterday and what I haven't, but I hope we're there. We'll see. So these are the panels I'm going to be using for the top of our pieces here. Okay, no particular order, doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these down to give me the room to work with these top panels. I am going to use wet glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room if I need it. And I generally tend to use, what do I tend to use? I tend to use fabric tack for most of my gluing. But Collal is actually just as good a glue. So that is what we're using today. I hope you're all well. This is probably still part of the same video, so I've probably asked you that question already, but yeah. I woke up and thought, I really want to kind of crack on with this project because it was getting quite interesting yesterday. yeah, I was really enjoying it. So that is where we are. This is quite a dark green card, but I really like it, and I've done a couple of projects with it and it's worked out really, really well. So I'm hoping that it will look good when we're finished. Got a couple of pencil marks I need to get rid of, but that's a quick fix. Okay. So there are 4 main panels, and you'll see when we pop these up that they will show through like that. And already I'm loving the colour mix. So I'm going to put these top panels on before I glue down what we're working with, just to make sure I'm happy with those, and then we can carry on. And I'm mixing these up, I'm literally just doing them in the opposite order, just for some interest, not for any other reason. Okay, so let's get these down. And this is quite a snug fit now, and I think probably because I had to cut a tiny bit of the left and the right flap, these bits here, I had to cut a tiny bit off yesterday, because it wasn't closing as nicely as I wanted it to. So that's what I've done there. The inside of these papers is beautiful as well, so I could have used either, but I just wanted to go with these for now. I think I've got the paper versions of these in the pack. It comes with paper and card. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim that. I'll glue it first and then I'll trim it off. Okay, so that is our inside panels. Okay, happy with those. Just have a drop of coffee. And my scissors. Let's just trim this. I should have trimmed them before I put them on, but done now. Okay, so the next step with these is going to be to glue them down. Now, what I did say yesterday was we needed a gusset for this one side here, because the way we'd cut our file folder, we only had gussets for both of the middle sections and then the inside piece of the ends. So I've done a quick gusset here, and I've used the leftover card, and all I've done is I've cut a piece here. I think it was half an inch or an inch it would have been. I scored it half an inch, and I'm using the greens because I think that will look good, because you're going to see these gussets from the outside potentially. So yeah, so that's all I've done to make those. And then as you can see, I've trimmed off this top piece here into a point, because once you close that, it lets you put it down without there being too much show through. Now I'm going to glue this. The pointy edge is going to be on the left hand side of the paper. So this is going to go on here so that the opening is facing inwards. Now if you wanted a proper true gusset, you'd be looking at having one of these with another almost like a W either side, and that would give you a true open up gusset. All I'm looking to do with these is create a bit of a pocket, so we're just looking to allow a bit more room when we put things in. Hope that makes sense. So again, I'm going to do exactly the same here. So the pointy bit faces the outside, and the inside opening faces the inside. Okay. And then we're going to glue all of our pieces in place. So I'm just going to pop some glue on here. Oops, daisy. Wipe that off before it sets. I'm using our glitter glue just because I know it's really, really thick, and it's very effective. So that's what I'm using for this. And I'm going to pop those down like that. Make sure they're stuck well. Okay, and that will give us our slightly, it's not a raised pocket as such, but it's like a pouch pocket. Okay, and I'm going to do that the same with the rest of these. I don't know what you think of the colour, because green is it's a very earthy, warmy colour, but this is quite a stark green. As I said, I love it, but I think it's going to be one of those. It's going to be a bit like Marmite. You're either going to love it or hate it, you know. Okay. So that is the inside of our piece here. What you can see here is this obviously are the same width as this, so it's going to have that triangle type effect. If you wanted this to close perfectly, then I would suggest you either cut these down, the width of these, or make that a little bit wider. But as it stands at the moment, that is what we've got. Okay, so for the next bit, what I'm wanting to do now is I would like to, Justine from House of Mahalo sent me these fabulous envelopes, and I absolutely love them. So I want to use these as flips on the inside piece here. So they're going to be like that. Okay. So in order to do that, I have cut an opening here. That opening will allow me to use that for a nice long skinny journal card. But to actually attach it here, I'm going to use the flap. And I'm just going to glue that in place there. I'm going to pop that flap over there. It doesn't have to be perfect because I will be covering the front of this with something. So I just want to make sure that it's in there and then it closes. Now what I've had to do with these is I've had to cut them down slightly because they need to be shorter than, or less wide than my underneath piece, so that when I close it, they're not going to hinder that and get in the way. So that is the one side, and I'm going to do exactly the same over here. I've cut this one down even more because this, when I made the cuts to these, this one I don't know why I did, but this one I did a little bit more. So that'll go there like that. And again, I've got an opening here that I've cut. Okay. So for the inside piece, I'm going to cover that with some card that I've already cut out. And that will go on there like that. I'm going to quickly do some stenciling though, just before I glue it down. Dropping things all over the place, just so we've got that edge in, that stenciled edge. Might be an idea to do that before you even glue it on, to be honest, but it's not a problem either way. Okay. So I've already cut the card out. Again, I'm just going to get rid of this white edging. The envelopes are fabulous, they're really lovely quality, but they are just envelopes. So by putting this piece of card on, again, that hopefully will make them a little bit stronger. Now, because we've got a bit of a weird thing going on here where we use the inside, when I glue this, I'm going to be gluing on the paper rather than the card. And the reason being, I cannot afford, obviously, for there to be any glue on this piece here, because that will just seal the pocket up, and that is not what we want. Now, I'm not going too close to the edge at the moment because I don't know how far my card goes, so I can always touch that up afterwards. But I'm also going to do a thin line here because the card isn't going to stick otherwise. So I'm going to pop that there. And then that is going to go there. like that. Okay, so we've still got our opening here, and already this is stronger because we've used some card on that. It's art glitter glue, so any bits of ink you've got showing aren't going to be a problem because they will dry clear. So I'm going to do exactly the same over here. So again, we're going to have our thin line of glue. Oh, I haven't stenciled this one. Let's see how much the stencil doesn't actually show through a huge amount there anyway, so I think we might get away with it. If we don't, I can always revisit that. So again, I'm just gluing the back of the card, the envelope, sorry. And then remember, this piece here just allows us to pop that down. No, I think I've gone a bit too close to the edge on that one. So I may need to just touch the glue up on that, but it might have caught. So we'll have a look at that afterwards. But again, you've then got your pocket. Okay, and as you can see, if we'd have glued that, that would have closed out, we would have had half a pocket. So that's why we're just gluing it on that one side and then on the backs of the paper. So there we go. This is progressing quite well, actually. I have a load of scraps left over from the cards that I used for these inside pieces, and I'm going to use those for things like pockets and stuff. I'm not 100% sure yet what pockets and things I'm going to use, but I will be using those for that. What I do want to do though is I want to have a text spot on either on both rather of these envelopes on the inside. So it's literally going to be a text spot there and a text spot there. So I'm going to start by, I've got no room to work here just because I can't put away after myself. Very, very lazy like that. I like to say it's because I get too inspired to start another project before I finish another one, but I'm not exactly sure that is the truth. Okay, so I've just kept those down, the edges, and these are going to be going on here like that. So again, I'm just going to get rid of that white off the edge. Like that. And I'm going to glue these down. The insides are pretty cool as well, but I don't want to start introducing lots of different patterns now. So just down the left side and across the bottom for our text spot. Okay, and then exactly the same on this one over here. This time we're going to go down the right side and across the bottom. And pop that on there. Okay, so at the moment we have got 2 text spots and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. Okay, we're on a roll. The next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cover our outside pieces. Now, I haven't 100% decided on this yet. I've pulled some green card, paper this is, not card, so it's going to be slightly thinner than what we've used already. But I've pulled some of that to decide what we're going to use. And what I'll be looking to do is I will be looking to cut these down to size. And then once I've cut them down to size, I will stitch around the edges just so that they're a bit stronger. And then I will pop these on here before the next video. Yeah, we'll pop those on before the next video, and I'll come back and we'll have this ready to go. So I'll leave it there for now and catch you very, very soon. Take care for now.